if you go into spirituality, basically, Noah, after the flood, had seven of each of the pure animals, which are ruminant animals. And what's special about ruminant animals is that they have four stomachs, and they basically regurgitate their food, and they also nourish the land because they've got split hooves. They actually plow the land and make the land a lot more fertile. So the ruminant animals are very, very important to the physical being of Earth, and also to the spiritual, because the ruminant animals were the ones which were sacrificed on the altar, and that is what God actually smelled and likes. That's his preferable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say food, because but that's his preferable offering. That's
Yeah.
his preferable.
And in Hebrew, the smell is riah in Hebrew, which is very close to the word ruah, which is spirit. Also,
Sure.
you understand. So there is something also here to understand. So, but if we go, if we want to just take a look into the Torah, actually, we see that the meat is better than the grass always. Look at the Abel and Cain. Abel, how you pronounce it, pronounce his name. Abel did an offering of meats. He gave some of its flocks and their fat, and God accepted that. But Cain gave vegetables, and God did not accept it. So we can go on and see that somehow what's better for man or for God is always about food. It's always meat, never really vegetables. Okay, there are some examples, but very rare examples, like the breads and everything. But that's interesting. That's and this is mind blowing for me, because I never believed.
When King Saul has his feast with Samuel, with Shmuel, he gives him the front leg, it says.
Yeah.
And usually that portion is the Kohen's, the priest portion. But this time he gives it to Binyamin, you know what I'm saying? To the king, because he was just basically throned as a king for Israel, you know what I'm saying? For the tribes of Israel and Judah. So, it doesn't say that he gave him bread or he passed him the salad or anything like that. That's the most important part of the meal that is actually mentioned. And when you think about it closely, ruminant animals and ruminant meat is basically the best digested. And we all know that the Passover offering is something that God summoned all the tribes of Israel to eat.
Yes.
Now, if God summons something to eat, nobody has an allergy to it, that's the best food for you. And when you think about it, every plant, somebody could have an allergy to. This one's allergic to carrots. This one's allergic to tomatoes. No one's allergic to lamb, a goat, beef. It's something that you're not allergic to. It basically goes into your system and nourishes it. That's what it does. And there's so many mentions in the Torah and the Tanakh about meat and ruminant meat. And I guess that's why maybe you're not allowed to eat the pig or the boar, because it's lower on a spiritual level. It's lower on a frequency level. It's a lower frequency. But that's another story. And in terms of spirituality, in my personal experience, I felt more spiritual after going on a carnivore diet.
And how long are you on a carnivore diet for? Like
I have been carnivore for around 10 months now.
10 months, and you feel better? Tell us a little bit what happened before and after. Like
Okay, so I was diagnosed by my doctor as pre-diabetic, meaning that I was supposed to have diabetes, meaning that I have an insulin resistance, meaning that I can't really digest carbohydrates that well. And usually, if you can't digest something, it takes something from something. So it actually takes the fat and stores it in the veins, in the arteries, because we have 63,000 square kilometers of arteries in our bodies. That's a miracle. There's so much area to store junk, let's call it that. And sometimes, people say that if you're thinner, you're healthier. And that's not true, because the Torah says bari, and usually bari is fat, like eglo.
Yes,
like
exactly.
eglo.
Yeah.
He was bari. Bari usually is, and it makes a lot of sense once you learn decentralized medicine and quantum biology. Understand that if a person has more, or actually not more, but bigger fat cells, it's not that he has more fats, it's just that they're bigger because they're little sacs. These fat cells can protect that person and basically store a lot of the toxins which come from plants, because plants have toxins. Remember, ruminant animals actually clear out all the toxins before they swallow it and make it into meat.
So they act as a filter, like like a filter for us.
It's the best filter in nature. Not only that, I don't know where it came from, but I heard that they actually even filter out the glyphosate, meaning that they filter out the spray and the pesticides and the herbicides that they spray on some of the stuff. So so it's a filter, and it's only, and when you think about it, you use all the animal. The skin is sent for leather goods and shoes and whatever. The bones are made into gelatin. The meat is eaten, right? And you can make the fat into tallow. So it's not, maybe the teeth, you can't do nothing with the teeth of the cow, but most of the cow, 99% of the cow or the ruminant, is actually usable for man's well-being, basically.
So that's interesting, because again, I'm trying to always check things out with the Torah, to validate, things, whatever we learn, what's logic to us with the Torah, because in the Torah everything is written, and sometimes, by thinking, first it helps us, to understand how to read the Torah, how to focus on what's written, and to understand things, in between things.